Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. It's Carol Baskin from Big Cat Rescue, and it's May 20th, and I'm 5 days behind already. How does that keep happening? Oh my catness. So, first thing we're going to do is check out the global big cat news. You can do that yourself and not be waiting on me by going
Howard or Howard Baskin
or answering the phone. Yeah, it's always like that here. Well, this was interesting. This is at bigcatrescue.org/news in case I didn't get to that part. The ATRs rescued tiger cub to learn hunting in large enclosure, and this is in the Hindu. And this is a 8-month-old tiger cub, came in with a porcupine quill injury and maybe some other stuff going on. And they want to make sure that this cat can hunt on his own before they release him back to the wild. So they are releasing him into a 10,000 square foot space, I think they said. It doesn't look like 10,000 square feet there, but anyway, I hope it goes well. I can't think of a time, there's certainly not been a time when any big cat born in captivity has been released and survived, but I can't even think of a time when they've brought in a cub and had it around people that it was able to survive out there on its own without getting into trouble. But I hope this changes it and that they stay completely away from this cat during its rehab. An elderly woman was mauled to death by a tiger in Tadoba Reserve. Enjoy birthday cake and ice cream with the big cats at NSYNC Exotics in Wiley. Have you seen this? Just some bobcat cubs roughhousing in the backyard. I love seeing stuff like that. Oh my goodness, aren't those bobcat kittens adorable? Oh my goodness, they're so cute. Here in Florida, they're so skinny, and here, wherever that is, KSL, they are fluffy. Polk County man sues Howard Baskin and Big Cat Rescue over the custody of lioness. That was Coda the lion, and I don't know that I can tell you what's going on with that yet, because I'm not sure what the original source of it was. But as soon as we have stuff that we can share with you about it, we will, because what an awful situation for that poor cat. Pet tiger rescued from Houston is thriving after a year at a sanctuary. That was India, and India has been with the HSUS-run Cleveland Amory Black Beauty Ranch, which is a lovely place. Mountain lion attacks a woman and a dog in Northern California. Pretty sure the mountain lion just wanted the dog. Tallahassee Museum hosts 9-month-old caracal siblings for the summer. I don't think I'm going to like that article. If you click on the picture or on the headline of each of these, you can find out more. The whole idea of using these animals as ambassadors just makes me angry. They don't want to be ambassadors. Report on captive lions raises huge welfare health red flags, and it's talking about zoonosis. This is in New Zealand. Looks like a wretched condition for that poor cat. The Czech Tiger King, of course, there's one born every minute that wants to show off and get attention. So whenever you see those people showing off and trying to get attention on social media, ignore them or call them out for being the jerks that they are. Frightened tiger cubs face villagers' wrath in MP. Well, that sounds terrible. This was fun. Carol Baskin comes to the slot world with brand new red tiger launch of Big Cat Rescue Megaways. And that's only legal in places where it's legal to gamble, but it is a fun new game that I got to play and I got to represent, and it has the cats from the sanctuary, and it is absolutely gorgeous and fun to play. So in places where it is allowed, I really hope people will play a lot, because part of the proceeds comes to the big cats here at Big Cat Rescue. Bobcat that attacked Vermont man tests positive for rabies. So they killed the cat that had busted into a home. And they did that because there's no way to test any animal for rabies without cutting their head off and testing the brain. And so most people don't want to go through all the shots and everything necessary if they get bit by an animal who's acting rabid. And in this case, it apparently turned out to be rabid, which is really, really rare. I almost never hear of a bobcat actually contracting rabies. This might be like the second time. Large cat mistaken for a cougar scares Vancouver neighborhood and brings out the police. And I went to the police Facebook page because they were saying, oh, no problem. This was just a Savannah cat. And even though it's illegal for people to have servals, this was a Savannah cat. So no harm, no foul, with their cat wandering around out there. God knows what kind of trouble that cat could get into and get hurt itself. And, they can take down a deer, so they could certainly take down a child or your pets. And this is not a Savannah cat. I've been working with exotic cats for 30 years this year. More if you count all the bobcats that I took care of, 45 years in bobcats. But this is definitely not a hybrid. It is a serval. And the only reason that people go around saying they have hybrids instead of the real thing is because it's illegal to have the real thing in so many places, whereas the hybrids are not treated the same way, and they should be. Just need to put a stop to that, because it always ends up badly for the cats when they hybridize for hybrids. Well, I guess that makes whenever they breed domestic cats and wild cats for hybrids. And there was another story about it. There were two media people that reached out to me, but they reached out on Twitter. And for crying out loud, my email's out there. It's available. It's easy to find. If you want to talk to me and it's something important, then go to my email, not to social media where I'm not going to see it in time. So they just posted what I had posted on the police page rather than actually getting to talk to me, because I didn't see it until all of that had died down. Naples Zoo welcomes new Malayan tigers month after Echo's death. HC summons officials over lack of Ranthambore big cat conservation plan. That doesn't sound very good. Bobcat sighting in East Texas. And watch Ruffalo unable to commit to zoo rules 18 months after consultation hits snag. So this was for some Maltese exotic animals. And whenever people don't want to do something, they say that they have to spend more time researching it or consulting about it. IRS states probe of Doc Antle's shady charity sought. So this was by PETA, and I actually want to read this because I have been very interested in what's going to happen there. When in 2011, we started really pushing with a number of other animal protection groups like the Humane Society of the United States and the International Fund for Animal Welfare and the World Wildlife Fund and Born Free. And oh man, there were so many of them, people who were, or organizations that were part of the International Tiger Coalition that we were part of. We all came together with a three-pronged approach to end the crisis of so many lions and tigers and other big cats being born, bred, discarded in the United States. And in 2011, there were 56 of these major cub petters, people that were just constantly pimping out cubs for people, stupid people, to have their pictures made with. Now, back then, when people were doing it in 2011, they really didn't know any better. They were taking these guys at their word. But now there's enough information out there that if there's anybody doing it today, they must live under a rock, because you can't go anywhere and see how and why that is so wrong to pay to pet a cub or to touch a cub or to see a cub on display. And so 56 of them in 2011. And now there's only two big ones, Doc Antle and Mario Tabro. There's a couple other guys that, they might have a cub now or then, but it's mostly those two. And I am really anxious to see what happens with Doc Antle's hearing in July. He's under indictment. And so this is from PETA on that. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. As Bhagavan Antle, also known as Kevin or Doc Antle, prepares to go to trial this summer over charges of cruelty to animals and felony wildlife trafficking, PETA is calling on federal and state authorities to crack down on what appears to be his charity scam too. Yeah, we've been reporting that for years. Antle is the president of the Rare Species Fund, a tax-exempt nonprofit organization registered to solicit charitable contributions in both South Carolina, where Antle operates the for-profit roadside zoo Myrtle Beach Safari, and Florida, where he kept numerous animals, including his great apes. The Rare Species Fund often touts international wildlife conservation when soliciting donations from the public, but as PETA details in the letters sent to the IRS, the South Carolina Secretary of State, and the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, Antle appears to use most of those charitable funds to subsidize the for-profit Myrtle Beach Safari. There, he breeds big cats, prematurely separates cubs from their mothers, and forces them and other animals into stressful and dangerous public encounters, activities that do not benefit the animal's well-being and have no conservation value. PETA is asking the IRS to investigate the Rare Species Fund, revoke its tax-exempt status, and pursue all available criminal penalties and criminal charges against Antle. PETA is also asking South Carolina and Florida authorities to investigate the Rare Species Fund and revoke its registration to solicit charitable contributions. Using charitable donations to fund a for-profit roadside zoo smacks of tax evasion, says PETA Foundation Deputy General Counsel for Captive Animal Law Enforcement Brittany Peete. PETA is calling on federal and state authorities to investigate whether donors are unwittingly propping up Doc Antle's exploitive cub-petting stunts. Antle's charges, a felony count of wildlife trafficking, another felony count of conspiracy to traffic in wildlife, and 13 misdemeanor charges, including 9 counts of cruelty to animals, stem from an investigation by the Virginia Attorney General that found Antle had trafficked lion cubs between Virginia and South Carolina with the owner of the now defunct roadside zoo, Wilson's Wild Animal Park. Yeah, let's stay up to date on that one and keep the pressure on to finally end these last 2 major cub petting operations. There's no reason to be breeding cubs and exploiting them that way. This one I asked Paula to put here on our news page, even though it doesn't mention cats. It's in Cambodia, and it says development threatens the last refuge of wildlife rescued from the illegal trade. So there's this huge reserve where these animals who are seized in raids can be rehabbed and released, and now it's in peril of being paved under for development. So I'm hoping people will get involved in that, people who can, and try to save that space for the wild animals because they need all the space they can get. 2 critically endangered Amur leopard cubs born at the St. Louis Zoo for life in prison. All right, going to coordinator report. May 16th, Nisha Prima. Fun day Monday with tons of help today. First off, I want to say welcome back, Emma, for level 5, Misty for level 2, and let's give a warm welcome to our newest intern, Catherine Mansell. Lauren started the day with AM meds. Ryan came in early for his first med observation. Go, Ryan. Beth Ann did the AM supplements. Lockouts were done by Beth Ann, Megan, Susan, and Bonnie. Jordan gave middle little cats their breakfast. Misty tagged along to observe feeding. Beth Ann and Emma fed the perimeter little cats. Big cats had their breakfast served by Susan and Megan on Lakeside. Cat fed interior big cats. Bonnie tagged along to observe. I showed Catherine around the sanctuary and went over the gates with her. Food prep was done before lunch in the tag team of Cat and Catherine. Brittany took care of the rehab bobcats. After feeding, the cleaning crew went out. Little cats were cleaned by Susan, Megan, Misty, Ryan. Big cats were cleaned by Emma, Jordan, Beth Ann, and Bonnie. After cleaning, the interns tackled on some small projects before having some cat time before lunch. After lunch, the bloodsickle and enrichment cats got done. In the afternoon, the interns mowed and weed-eated Priya the tiger's enclosure. Jordan and Ryan worked on clearing out her lake. Beth Ann and Bonnie made bloodsickles. The day ended with Beth Ann doing PM supplements. Susan observed her. Brittany did PM meds. Ryan observed her. And the interns did chores. Thank you so much for everyone's hard work. And bravo to Jordan and Ryan for getting all of that hydrilla out of the side where Priya swims. You'll see a lot of green on the top of the lake, and it's these little teeny tiny, they look like 4-leaf clovers, and they just float on the surface. They're like, they're this deep and this wide, and there's a gazillion of them floating on the surface. So it looks like there's still stuff there, but there's nothing that can impede her ability to swim. I don't know what that little plant's called. I'll have to look it up. It's really a cute little plant, but you can't tell when you're looking at it from the camera. Sometimes it just looks like a blanket of that same hydrilla, which it's not. May 17th, Cat Like Cap says, a warm welcome to our newest intern, Vanessa. It was a gorgeous but hot Tuesday. Fred started it off with AM meds and supplements, and Emma did the diet supplements. Lockout was done by Brittany, Barbara, and Susan. Jenny came in to help around the gift shop and see some cats. Small cats were fed by Ryan, Misty, Susan, Jordan, while Brittany, Barb, Nisha, and Emma fed the big cats. Fred joined for cleaning afterwards. Ryan, Vanessa, and Cap did food prep, and then weed whacked and mowed around the trailers, hospitals, beachside enclosures, and gift shop parking lot. Everyone else joined after they came back from cleaning. Susan and Barb took care of the daily blood sickle and the enrichment for the cats, while everyone ate lunch. Afterwards, it was project time. The interns and Fred worked on beautifying Priya the tiger's enclosure, while Brittany helped rake up around Kelowna and Dryden the bobcats. Susan got a supplement sign-off from me, and Nisha did PM meds while the interns wrapped it up with chores. Many thanks to everyone who showed up today. The cats and I appreciate you tons. That was from Kat. And then the last one I have here is from Jordan Elaine, 21 hours ago. He says, busy day, but with awesome volunteers, it was smooth sailing Thursday. The day was started with Barbara doing AM supplements and Marie doing AM meds. Big cat lockouts were done by Nisha and Barbara B., while small cat lockouts were done by Susan and Barbara. Today was flea treatment. So the cats were nice and hungry. The middle little cats, we fast them the day before so that they'll eat their meds. Middle little cats were fed by Susan, Marie, Barbara F., and Emma, while perimeter little cats were fed by Ryan, Kat, Nisha, and Barbara B. The big cats were fed by Afton and Aaron. While everyone was out feeding, the project crew of Misty, Catherine, and Vanessa did multiple projects. They started with cleaning the equipment on the cleaning slab, and then cleaned out the gutters around food prep, then swept and mopped the hospital, and then went out to rehab cage number 4 to weed eat and trim palmettos in the medium sections. Emma, Nisha, Misty, and Ryan. Big cats were cleaned by Barbara B., Marie, Kat, and Susan. During cleaning, Mark and Brittany continued to beautify the cage in between Lovey, Kelowna, and Dryden. They're going to expand that for Kelowna and Dryden. It used to be... I'm blanking on her name. I can't believe I'm blanking on her name. Tiger Lily. It was Tiger Lily's enclosure. During cleaning, Mark and Brittany... I already said that. Catherine and Vanessa started food prep. After everyone was filled back up with lunch, Catherine, Misty, and Ryan finished up food prep. Kat gave Susan a supplement sign-off, and Susan and myself did the daily enrichment and the blood sickle for the cats. The PM projects were cleaning the recovery hospital and then cleaning out the ditches for preparation of the Florida rain. The day ended with Kat doing PM meds and interns doing PM chores. Thank you everyone who came out today. You can stay up to date with us everywhere. We are on social channels everywhere as Big Cat Rescue. Thank you. Mwah.